Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are in the shop today. We have a big problem. After I come back from my trip in BC, I found there's something wrong with my steering. So I put it in the garage, I set it up, I adjusted everything so the tires were pointing straight. It was in the middle of its turning radius for the steering box. Just double checking everything. And I took it out for a spin, went around the block, and it was all over the place. I get her back in the garage very carefully and I get her up on the blocks, and I'll show you here in a minute, but there's a big problem. It turns out, well, I'm just gonna say it. Whoever built this car, seems like he was a very talented hobbyist, but I would not put my money on that he was a mechanic or that he was a welder. Because whoever welded this plate onto it, maybe they just tacked it on and forgot to come back to properly weld it, but it's not very good. As a mechanic, welding is a part of our trade, although structural welding isn't really something we're supposed to be doing, but for this, I should be fine. Haven't done it in a while, but I went out and I bought myself a whole Mastercraft setup, which is perfect. Like, I mean, if you guys are weekend hobbyists, weekend warriors in the garage, you know, a little welder like this would be perfectly fine to learn on. I certainly don't know enough to know if it's bad or where its good strong parts are, but I practiced last night doing the different welds that I'm gonna have to do, and I liked how they turned out. So let's show you the damage. Let's see what happened. Now this is the mount that's supposed to be welded to my frame that the steering box bolts to, which is, of course, how we control where the car is going. And you can see, like a lot of these welds, I just popped them off with the pry bar. It wasn't this bad originally. I tried prying it off. There's only one weld holding it on, and I tried to pry it right off the frame so I could straighten it out really nice and clean it up a lot easier, but thank God that weld is probably all I was driving on when I was getting it back in the garage, but it's in the frame really well. And under here, you can see how that little, I don't even know what you want to call it. It stuck to the frame, but it didn't even stick to the mounting plate. So we're gonna have to bend this all back down, clean it all up with the wire wheel, and we're gonna do some welding. So, looks like we've got our work cut out for us here. I've got to get this welded back on. I got to whip over to the hardware store, buy some paint it up so it, so it looks pretty, right? Bolt it back together. Then we're going to have to do a quick wheel alignment, which we have a toe-in gauge, which is the way you do a wheel alignment on these old cars. Really easy because you only have one adjustment, and that's toe-in. And let's see if we can get this done today. It's going to be a busy day, lots to do. One other thing I'll say, it's like if you go on YouTube, you could totally watch lots of videos on how to weld. That's what I did, just to make sure I had some more knowledge of what I was looking at as I was welding, right? Make sure I'm doing the proper type of weld, but also just to learn how to weld. So if you're gonna try this out at home, one thing I'm also going to say is make sure you get gauntlet style welding gloves. Don't cheap out. You don't want to burn yourself. The other thing is cover up. The welding process gives off UV radiation and you can get sunburned. Make sure you have a proper welding helmet. You do not want arc flash in your eyes. it's like somebody poured a whole cup of sand right on your eyeball, and it's like days before you feel better. So anyways, let's get under, let's take a look at the cleanup, and let's give it a try. Let's give this upside down weld a try. You can see an example here of what I'm dealing with for welds. This is all gonna have to get cleaned up and redone. I'm just trying to keep the car running for the summer so I can enjoy it a little bit. I like the challenge of having to be able to work on it. It's exactly at the level of build that I wanted, so I could complete it and do it my way. The steering box is a little disconcerting though. I think that should have been caught somewhere. I should have caught it when I first bought the car. But lots of people didn't, so nobody got hurt. We're all good. Let's get her done. So I've got it kind of cleaned up as best I could. It's not going to be the ideal situation here, obviously. And you can see that top is still pulled away quite a bit. So we're going to have to hammer that down. You can see the brake line right there kind of got pried away from the frame, but I got to be careful I don't smack that. So this is going to be an up-hand weld. I'm going to start from the bottom and I'm going to weld it all the way to the top. And I don't know how it's going to turn out around that bubble gum, but we'll see what happens. So last but not least, I had to disconnect the steering wheel and pull it all back so that I could, get that away from the steering box and the welding area, the other end of the steering shaft. So just got to bolt this back up and we should be able to go for a test drive. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is how I solved that problem of my legs getting in the way of shifting. I just went back to the Mustang shifter. I know it's not the style, these rat rods, that big tall gear shifter is a thing, but I did manage to get a nice little skull for my gear shifter because it's badass. Well, it seems like we're back in business. We've got the steering all hooked up. Still pretty stiff, so we're going to service it, make sure it's got enough grease, everything's all lubed up. Which means I've got to go to the store, I guess, and get a grease gun. Hopefully Home Hardware has one. And I think we're laughing after that. All right, let's go get that done. Hey guys, Future Kevin here. Just sitting here editing the video. And boy, that guy in the last scene, he sure looked like he was going to get that car going after a little bit of grease in the front end. But let me tell you, that's not how it worked out. So it's going to be kind of choppy here because I'm going to end the video here where we've just welded the frame. We got the steering box on. I'm going to, in the next part 2 video, you will see that past Kevin
whatever. The guy in the video anyway, you're going to see that he ran into a whole bunch of problems with his front end. Took a little bit to get her all done, but the car's all good now. But yeah, so hit like, hit subscribe. If you guys want to check that out, that's going to be the next video. The rest of the front end repairs on my car. And then we should be, by that time, we'll be getting into preparation videos for my big van trip up to Tuktoyaktuk. So that's also something you can look forward to. So we're going to end her here, guys. Thanks for checking out another one of my videos. And like I say, hit like, hit subscribe. That helps. It's awesome. And yeah, like I always say, stay safe, have some fun, and oh, you got to get out there and have yourself an adventure, guys. Till next time.